Ever wonder what lies beneath the ocean surface, hidden from sight but causing untold damage? Imagine a silent killer lurking in the depths of our world's oceans, a danger that is not only invisible to the naked eye but also incredibly destructive. This unseen menace is not a mythical sea monster but something far more commonplace: abandoned fishing gear, also known as ghost nets. Ghost nets are fishing nets that have been lost, discarded or abandoned in the ocean by fishermen. They can be made of various materials, but most often they're composed of non-biodegradable plastic. Ghost nets drift through the ocean, ensnaring marine life and wreaking havoc on the environment. They are a silent, relentless threat to our oceans and their inhabitants. The scale of the ghost net problem is staggering. Every year, hundreds of thousands of marine animals, from tiny fish and crustaceans to large mammals like seals, dolphins, and whales, become trapped in these nets and lose their lives. The tragic irony is that most of these creatures are not even the intended targets of the nets when they were in use. But it's not just the marine life that is affected. Ghost nets also pose a significant threat to the health of our oceans. They create dead zones where they prevent sunlight from reaching the ocean floor, disrupting the growth of plants and the balance of marine ecosystems. Ghost nets are a global problem. They can be found in every ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, from the shallow coastal waters to the deepest abyss. And because they're made of durable, non-biodegradable materials, a single ghost net can continue its deadly work for decades. As we move through this film, we'll explore the extent of this problem, hear from experts and those affected by the ghost net crisis, and learn about the efforts being made to combat this issue. As we delve deeper, let's uncover the truth about ghost nets. To understand the impact of ghost nets, we need to hear from those who study our oceans. Marine biologists across the globe have been raising the alarm about ghost nets for years. These discarded or lost pieces of fishing gear are not just an eyesore, they pose a significant threat to marine ecosystems. Dr. Amelia Thompson, a renowned marine biologist, describes ghost nets as silent killers of the deep. She explains, "Ghost nets do not discriminate. They entangle all manner of marine life, from tiny plankton to massive whales. As these creatures struggle to free themselves, they often sustain severe injuries or exhaust themselves to the point of death." Meanwhile, Professor James Sullivan from the Ocean Conservation Institute shares, "Ghost nets are like the undead of the sea. They persist for hundreds of years, continually catching and killing marine life. They are a relentless, unending cycle of destruction." Dr. Maria Gonzalez, a marine ecologist, focuses on the ripple effect of this issue. When we lose marine species, we upset the balance of the entire ecosystem. Ghost nets are not only killing individual animals, but they're also threatening biodiversity. And it's not just the larger marine creatures that are affected. As Dr. David Chen, a marine microbiologist, points out, these nets also smother delicate coral reefs and other critical habitats. The microorganisms that inhabit these areas play a crucial role in nutrient cycling and carbon sequestration. From the microscopic to the massive, ghost nets are wreaking havoc in our oceans. The voices of these marine biologists underscore the urgency of addressing this issue. As we continue to pull more and more ghost nets from our seas, their warnings serve as a stark reminder of the damage we've already done. Clearly, the impact of these ghost nets is far-reaching and devastating. We must listen to the voices of the deep and take action to prevent further harm to our vital marine ecosystems. But how do these ghost nets end up in our oceans in the first place? Well, let's unravel that mystery, shall we? The origins of ghost nets primarily lie within the fishing industry. Picture a bustling harbor, brimming with boats, their decks laden with fishing gear. Among these, nets are a common sight, serving as the primary tool for catching fish. However, these nets do not always stay in the hands of the fishermen. Imagine a net getting snagged on a rocky seabed, becoming too difficult to retrieve. Or consider a storm that sweeps a net overboard, lost to the vast, unpredictable sea. In such instances, the fisherman might simply cut the net loose, leaving it to drift aimlessly in the ocean. This isn't an act of malice, but an unfortunate reality of the industry. And it's not just about the nets that are lost. Some are discarded intentionally. As nets wear out, or as better technology becomes available, old nets are often simply tossed aside. Out of sight, out of mind, right? But the ocean isn't a bottomless pit. It can't make these nets disappear. Instead, they linger, turning into deadly traps for marine life. Now, you might be wondering, aren't there regulations to prevent this? Surprisingly, no. There's a shocking lack of guidelines around the disposal of fishing gear. Many countries have regulations for terrestrial waste, but when it comes to marine waste, there's a gaping hole in the rulebook. This isn't just an oversight, it's a reflection of our collective mindset. We view the ocean as separate from our daily lives, a vast expanse that can absorb all we throw at it. But that's a dangerous misconception. The ocean is part of our world, and what we do affects it, just as its health affects us. So these nets aren't just a byproduct of the industry, they're a symptom of a larger issue. While the situation may seem dire, there are those working tirelessly to combat this issue. In the face of adversity, humanity has the potential to rise and transform challenges into opportunities. Across the globe, environmental experts are doing precisely that by developing innovative solutions to tackle the ghost net problem. One approach is prevention. Education is key here. By raising awareness about the environmental impact of ghost nets, we can encourage responsible fishing practices. This includes using biodegradable nets or tracking devices that help retrieve lost gear. But what about the nets that are already haunting our oceans? That's where removal comes in. Dedicated teams of divers and marine conservationists are braving the depths to locate and remove these underwater threats. It's an arduous task, but one that's essential for the health of our marine ecosystems. Yet the question remains, what do we do with these retrieved ghost nets? Here, the answer lies in recycling. Several organizations are turning these deadly traps into something useful, from transforming them into raw material for 3D printing to weaving them into fashionable items like sneakers and swimwear. These initiatives give a second life to what was once a threat to marine life. It's a cyclical solution, really. We're taking what's harmful, removing it, repurposing it, and in the process, educating more people about the issue. This, in turn, reduces the likelihood of more ghost nets ending up in our oceans. The task ahead is monumental, no doubt. Yet, every net retrieved, every piece of recycled gear, every person educated about the issue, brings us one step closer to healthier, ghost net-free seas. The fight against ghost nets is ongoing, but with concerted efforts, we can make a difference. Remember, every tide begins with a single ripple, and together we're creating a wave of change. Now that we've seen the scale of the problem and the potential solutions, what can we do? The ghost nets that haunt our oceans represent a silent but deadly menace. They are abandoned fishing gear, forgotten or discarded, left to drift on currents and ensnare unsuspecting marine life. These phantom webs pose significant threats to our waters, indiscriminately trapping creatures and creating an underwater graveyard where vibrant life once thrived. But it's not all doom and gloom. As we've seen, there's hope on the horizon. Communities around the world are standing up, taking action, and turning the tide against this invisible threat. Through innovation and collaboration, we're starting to unravel the net. The importance of responsible fishing practices can't be overstated. Our actions today shape the health of our oceans tomorrow. By being mindful of our practices, we can significantly reduce the amount of discarded gear that ends up as ghost nets. Subscribe to our channel for more insights into our world and how we can protect it. Thanks for watching.